Kevin's the captain right now.
Kevin's the captain right now. As you can see, this is a huge room to fit this model in. The model was built in 1916. This is a classic example. Whale ships that sailed from New Bedford, Massachusetts during the 1800s, as late as 1924. That's when it was being built.
Kevin, don't pull on there.
Oh, it's Captain Kevin, the Whaler Lagoda. We're now on deck. We go back here to where the kitchen, the steering wheel, captain's and first mate's quarters. Alright. Ring the bell. Captain Kevin at the wheel. Ringing the bell. Weird ship. Whale ho. Land ho. Now Kevin is in the miniature version of the kitchen. It's here. It's out. As you can see, it's not too dark in here. It's a miniature stove, just like they had on the old whaling ships.
What's in here?
Here's the foremast. Looking out to the front of the room. Another bell. Some whaling equipment. Cabin. There's a miniature whaling boat that they have 4 of them hanging on the sides. It's a little lifeboat, I'm sure. Rear view of the ship. New Bedford. It's the captain's wheel inside.
I think you just want to go show.
Is that a barrel?
And here's
The what?
sails.
Oh yeah, and all the different tools there. All different tools they used for sail rigging, right?
Okay, this one that somebody was starting to make down there.
Mm-hmm.
The barrel, in the middle there's a barrel craft made. There's where that spoon Cooper shop.
Oh. Cooper shop. Here were made barrels for whale oil.
That's the thing they used to hold the barrels together.
Yeah, the rings they put around the barrel to support it and hold it together. Sure. There's a big barrel, huh?
That's barrel
What you doing?
wheel turn. Left.
Careful, don't hurt your fingers on that. What kind of sleigh is this? Yeah. Looks like the kind they used to have horses too, huh?
Like Santa's sleigh. Santa's sleigh's red.
Oh yeah, they have reindeer to Santa's sleigh. It's turning some more rigging equipment. They have about everything you ever used to use here. Rigging. Look out at New Bedford Bay in Massachusetts. The Whaling Bay. This is a historic district in town. Picture of New Bedford in 1869. View from upper floor. tail.
Six.
And you can see a visitor down there on the deck. Yo-ho-ho! Whaling office, maybe register.
Black sand.
Let's see, there used to be a lot
Oh, look at his
back
coat
in the days of
over here.
this coat, telescope, cane. Is that a cane beside the telescope? Over here
Walking
is a
stick.
walking stick. His unique white hat.
Over here is his desk. And that desk with newspaper. Over here is the light on it. And
Is
then
that
down
sure? Over here is the desk. These flags going down the center of the
boat.
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 Who's that down there?
One for each state. Wow.
Our canoes. This one looks like it was hollowed out of a tree trunk.
They are made out of tree trunk.
Both of them. Yeah. Maybe they were made by
Looks like it's made out of tree trunk.
Pilgrims?
Oak tree.
and this is a model of a Malaysian village, which somehow one over here in
Yeah, this is
Bedford.
bottom. The grave in the middle that sheds back is supposed to be water.
About 1840.
Then
Oops. Here's the American flag on the boat.
that was. And there's a big flag. Big flag. Whoa.
Oh, the New Bedford flag, I'll bet you. By the canoe. In the meantime, we'll get a picture of this boat out in Bedford Bay.
This must be where they're hanging these flags on this post here.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yep.
on this post.
32 is
I didn't.
the Siemens Bethel building out here, next door to the museum. Boat cannon here, probably from many years ago. We'll move up here. You can see there's harpoons, lances, bomb lances, whaling guns, darting guns, boat gear, masthead gear, cutting gear, and harpoons here. And we'll scan down through. I think these are some of the harpoons from the Hinsdale collection. Bomb lances. Oh, look at that.
Titanic just made it to an iceberg.
Guns. Darting guns. It's not going to take the wheel. As you can see, they have even fully cannon-sized band on the side of the ship. Something that was a common practice back in those years. Over here we have boat gear. There's some of the boat gear. Mastheads. This clock from 1798. Cabin.
Do I have to pull you in there?
I'm coming.
Oh.
end of it.
They patented the clothes, see?
Like that, okay.
What's that? Yeah, here's no record. To the X looking for treasure. What's
Let's
this?
take a look at this.
Oh,
The ship model, what's it say? It says cough, cough. That's a funny name for a ship.
no, I can't read it.
You can't read it? We'll just have to go over and put it on the camera.
Stamps.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm getting a good feeling for the other ship. The other ship.
It's a whale ship, Deborah Guilford, huh? I took one view of the harbor up top. I didn't take one down here.
On the street. Okay. Here's how to turn the radio.
It doesn't focus out there.
Oh,
Oh, view of New Bedford Bay. And a dirty window. This is another model.
something really surprising.
This is just a miniature of the Cape Cory. Small whaler. It was built in 1856. And by Village from Westwood Point. All the amazing detail. And down the below the back. That is whale skeleton. Part's closed, huh? All we can do is get a view of it this way then.
Anybody
See
getting
how
pale?
big that whale must have been.
Anybody get pale? Step by step, you can see
I've
his tail.
got the tail.
Look at the oil.
There's a cradle for the baby.
Century living room, huh?
Oh, Kingo.
Wooden cradle. Sure. A chandelier, 18th century style. Huge. Cupboards. Yes, in Whaling City is starting to have a whale. China. This was a fancy stuff, I'm sure, for its day.
Hey, guys, see that bowl?
All different kinds of ships here. And there's one. First-rate ship of the line, 126 gun. It's a dockyard model of the kind used to mock up to illustrate naval officials' proposed design of a new vessel. To enhance the proposal, models were made, were often completed in all their details. Ships, this particular design were used by the French during Napoleonic Wars. It's a big ship. All those guns. Great detail. It's a merchant ship. The steamship began to dominate the merchant service. Sailing vessels were no longer able to compete in trades that required speed or specific schedules. Speed was not essential. Sail continued to offer more economical means of transport well into the 20th century. This model of Jean Bordeaux illustrates how hull design is adapted to accommodate great amounts of cargo during the declining days of sail. version of a flat-bottom craft carried bulk cargo to the great rivers of northern Europe. Triangular stern frame tiller passes, largely replaced by engine-powered barges in the 20th century. These can still be found sailing. There's yachts in the Low Countries today. French fishing boat. Ship similar to the
There's the bell that I was ringing when I was stealing the ship. And there's when it was what's in it?
brig. Details including all the cannons. You can see they had doors for the cannons. So they were always just sticking out. MS Caledonia, the largest warship of her day in the British Navy, with 120 guns. Yeah, what you got? Square topsail schooner, 1910. That was all those British warships inside. This is one of the most feared vessels. Here we have a steam tug, the Harry Carmel. What's that? USS Frigate Constitution. It's a famous boat in its day. Painting of the Constitution in the bay.
Website.
Want me to take a picture here? By the boat?
Here. This historic district. This is the old Mariners Hall. Moby Dick. Next door. See Elizabeth. Where he went to church. You go too far to go to church. Let's sit here. We can read that. Read it. Oh, sorry. Oops. That's too far. Huh? Oops. Of course. Great. Horseneck Beach today. This Horseneck Beach is near the border of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. It's still in Massachusetts. Kevin always loves to fish. There are a few of them. Most of the land's crazy tourists. How Horseneck Beach got its name, nobody's told me. There's our little game of ball there. Summer. We're just taking a day off. Awfully gray. It looks like it's going to rain. museum to the beach. Here's a park. Look at Is the water cold, I wonder? Kevin. Facing off with the waves again. Oh, not to Kevin. The ocean's going after him. The ocean knocks him down again. Now the stays tough. Hold the camera steady there. water cold? Is the water cold?
It's freezing. Don't film me.
I got a good picture of that gull over there. The one, as a matter of fact, I got a picture of him standing in the water, and the water comes right up around his feet, and he just stands there and doesn't pay attention.
Look at us. Close up with the
I got a picture down that way already. I think a lot of gulls came in since I was down there. Can't get any closer to houses than this. I'll probably be able to see them better on the tape than I can see them now to tell you what they might be. Kitties. Is the water cold, Kevin? Rocks? I thought you collected shells. Ah! I didn't realize the water is that close to me. Right down on my feet that time.
Look at this rock. This is the Battleship Massachusetts, moored at the Battleship Cove Museum. It's also a submarine.
I can't remember the name of the submarine offhand. Destroyer John F. Kennedy. Nestled underneath this huge bridge as part of I-95. This is the destroyer, the USS Kennedy Jr. This is from the front of the destroyer. The destroyer's got a couple of guns on it too. We're going to be going up further yet. This is the destroyer Kennedy. We'll be going to the USS Lionfish, a submarine, and then to the battleship Massachusetts. Inside the destroyer. This is it. What's it they have here? Lots of equipment, sailors. This highlights the action of the Joseph Kennedy. Read all this when you take a day. Before the war, contingency plans simply called the destroyers to accompany the battle fleet to engage fleet. As the development of two ocean war destroyers began with a large string of new missions. Some of the action shots. Here's a destroyer that's kind of clobbered.
Try one out?
Be kind to the bunks, Kevin. Kevin's gonna bunk in a destroyer. Here's the naval uniforms, huh? Here's the blues.
You get a lot of food?
Well, it's still a good hour and something on the day.
I mean on the battery too.
Yeah, the battery's alright.
Yeah, you get this when you walk through.
Oh,
Come on, Kevin, this way.
There's the lights. Off-duty lights.
Oh. Mom, don't let me leave.
Wow, look at those guys, huh?
Woo!
It's in there. Some of the machinery, yeah? Well preserved. And the Burke, known as 31 knot Burke. Remembers high speed, which is bloody ships in enemy action in World War II. Destroyer Super Squadron 23.
Fire.
Yeah.
Pictures in here, a lot from men. Coming up out. Actual feeling of something. Right here. some of the utility room here. Some fire equipment on these walls. Officer's stateroom. Let's see what we got. That was a memorial for Vietnam. Okay. There's some diagrams here of the structure of the ship. Try and scan over them without going too fast. All the different compartments. Down here. I don't know, watching this we may have to some pictures here from these pictures look like Korea. Looks like the ship's banner. United Nations flag. Vietnam Memorial. Air Force and Navy. A lot of names here. A to Z.
What's up?
Vietnam.
Girls didn't get drafted, they could sign up for going as nurses. But luckily, see, here's a pretty, that divided North Korea and South Korea. And there's a small locker. Here's their barber shop.
Oh, yeah. There's a Korean memorial for the Army. Lights make it tough in these angles.
Now where
Barber shop. Yes, hey. I'm going to contain this and take some pictures of the outside of the shop. I want to get to the battleship division chart room here. So the division commander got a little bit of space to work with, although space on it. There's the chart room itself. Still charts up there. And, a few charts out on the equipment they used in the chart room. Compasses and other such bric-a-brac. There's some of the electronics that were used during the war. See what's up here.
Bridge.
Bridge.
well, I want to look outside first.
There's the bridge, the destroyer Kennedy. And from the captain's chair on that end to all those things you ever see in the movies too. Communications, the wheel. Chair there. Captain's sea cabin. Next to the bridge. Place for that. What you doing out here? Looking? It's out here?
Just a compass.
Ooh, it's a busted compass too. This looking into the bridge from this angle. Get a little better view. Battle wagon up. And here's the foredeck. There's the bridge. And it's not done anti-submarine wagon here, which destroyers used to use to, well, maybe they still do use it to shoot at submarines way off the other sea. Something other than that. Destroyers are very peculiar with that. After deck, destroyer here. Looking out, look out from that over to the battleship Massachusetts, which is over there. You can see they wasted no space here. The helicopter had this space of approximately, I'd say 50 by, not even that, I'd say 20 by 30 land in here. Poster over here about the Kennedys in the sea. That's about. So again, as long as I can hold out here, I'm going to try and get to the other ships also. Lionfish submarine. Pretty good look at the outside of these other ships here, I think. There's the Lionfish, the conning tower. The ship is immensely. That there is multiple pictures. The structure of that battleship. Big guns, especially on the ends.
Submarine tour? That's real tour.
Back over here, I got a better shot of the fighter plane for you. This fighter plane on display as well. They also have a PT boat inside the building. I'll get to that, I'll get some pictures of it. There's Kevin running by the way. The forward deck beneath the command center. And down here we've got a torpedo on display. It's not a real clean box that it's displayed in, but it is a torpedo. Over here we also have the depth charge releasers, which are pretty big. A little different than what I thought they would. It's an air ventilator ship.
Want to get a picture of mine?
Oh, is it mine?
Yeah, that one flat out.
Is it mine? Where's the mine?
Tell me.
Oh, yeah.
Those are your torpedoes.
There's a World War II mine down there. Can get a picture of it. There we go. And there's a big, that's probably an airplane torpedo down there. Behind that plane. With a rear view of the fighter plane, and I showed you the front of and the side of it there. And there goes Kevin again. Oh well. Bay State ship. Joseph Kennedy Jr. Sponsored by Miss Jean Kennedy. Built by Bethlehem Steel Company, Quincy, Massachusetts. Authorized July 1940. Keel laid April 2nd, 1945. Launched July 26, 1945, commissioned December 15, 1945. Completed frame, convoy, YNS, May 4th, 1962. Tin Can Sailors, National Destroyer Organization. Sign up in a ship's store to receive information. Come along, we're going to go on to the next boat. What is it?
Mine launch.
A mine launcher? Oh, yeah, there's a mine on it, isn't
Water,
there?
any ship will blow up and fix it.
Yep.
2 of them.
Hey, you ready to go over on the submarine now? Yeah, let's climb aboard the sub. That's the exit, kid. There's the conning tower. It's going to be fun when I get down inside of here. Gosh, you never think of a submarine being quite this long, huh? Wait, whistling. The lookouts. There's the gun.
Compass.
I hit the top one, sorry. Top show his marksmanship here. He's looking for planes to shoot at. Just gunning. Submarine. Maybe you hit something. We're gonna go down yet. Is it a forward torpedo by the USS Tiger? See, here's tubes 1 and 2.
3 and 4.
5, 6.
Things we gotta climb.
It also sleeps 16 men in here.
16.
That's what the sign said, 16 men.
Crowded submarine. Yeah, 16 men. Great years. Try to get plenty of air down here,
Not very big space, is it?
but not an easy fit. Yeah, it looks like the kitchen area. Pretty small. Officer's wardrobe. Even the officers didn't get much room in these things. And officers come in stateroom 2. 2 men to a stateroom. Tell you, it's small. Yeah, I can fit through here. Officer's wardroom. Boy, this is the other angle of that same room. See up here is that everything you in there. This is amazing. This looks like another bunk room. Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I don't know if that focuses or not. Huh. Yeah, there. 2 more bunks. Yep. Bunks. Another bunk. Ooh, another bulkhead. Ship's office. Yeoman shack, huh? He even got his old typewriter in there. Okay. Oh, this is fun going through.
You'd love this, honey. Look at all the pieces
Yeah.
you could make. You might have to change.
Danger, high voltage. Oh yeah. Ooh. We'd have to have them all. They ran my
Those
batteries.
are
on
small
them.
ones. You see the ones on the battleships that these are huge diodes. Like, they're about that big. Some places. Pretty huge. Don't worry about that. Make it a little bigger.
Amazing. Is that the conning tower?
Yeah,
Just wait, Kevin.
Is there another room up there?
it's about the size of a walk-in closet.
Oh gosh.
I can't climb all the way up there because I'm too
Just
small.
climb up to the top of the ladder and you look around and you come back down again. This is a good course for the ship right now.
Wow.
There's the depths, right? I think it's down to 100. Look, it's on 165. Oh, that is the depth. So much
Specific gravity
specific
of
gravity.
the water.
Three lights and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The controls.
What's down there?
Whoops. I don't know what's down there. Can you see? Can't see any better than you can. I don't know if I can make this. Oh. Yeah, very small room up there. Very, very small. There's the periscope area. I'll tell you, I don't know how many people got up here, but couldn't have been more than a few. What's this? Submarine's radio room.
Oh,
Gosh, it's
secretary,
amazing.
right? Oh, I see. Low deck check on sheets, that's the west line.
All that equipment. This is the main kitchen. And over here's the wardroom area. And I'm kind of surprised at the space in this wardroom. It's probably as big as our kitchen. You expect to find anything this big? A submarine.
Get back here. Mom's waiting.
It's a bonus. Torpedoes. 14 torpedoes. Okay. This fish has been designated a National Historic Landmark. The site possesses national significance in commemorating the history of the United States of America, 1986 National Park Service. The U.S. submarines still on patrol. A lot of names there. Ooh, swordfish, huh? Never forget it. These are submarines that held lines against the enemy while fleets replaced losses and repaired wounds and wounds. Sure you're fighting with the guerrillas to survive them.
Oh,
Criminal toll of our savage enemy to avenge their deaths.
see, you only see 9.
How
There'd
many?
be 36 in here.
Yeah, probably there was a set in the middle too.
18, that'd be double rows.
Oh my.
Double and then probably another one on that wall. So this is the original
This is
cruise
their
quarters,
bodies.
but it's been changed over for exhibits, of course.
Here's their washing machine. This is the potties.
Ooh, the heads. They said there are working restrooms on each battleship.
Come see in here.
Wow. Let's see if it fits here.
Fairbanks, Val.
Really?
Fairbanks. This is the forward engine room. Folks, do that again.
Look at the engines. It's two
HP Fairbanks bore steel engines are used when the submarine is on the surface. They operate electric generators, which in turn drive the main motors which put the power in the ship's propellers. Engine room of the submarine. To the battleship Massachusetts. What's going on with it? At any rate, look at how big these guns are. Way up there is the bridge. Here, let's see what the tours got to say. Did you hear it? Try number 4. I can find it. This is incredible. Maybe men like these things for space. But when I get down inside, it won't be like this. Here's number 4. Battle of Casablanca. Battle of Casablanca. USS Massachusetts is one of the naval units involved in Operation Torch. Invasion of North Africa. The targets of the invasion was Casablanca and French Morocco. An excellent harbor, which was in the hands of pro-Axis Vichy French forces. In the first combat, Massachusetts taken under fire by the unfinished French battleship Jean d'Arc, was fitted out in Casablanca Beacon. Avoiding John Bark's fire, Massachusetts commenced firing at 7:04 a.m. range of 2440 and about 12 miles. By 7:20 a.m., John Bark had hit 5 times and their main batteries were silent. Projectile fans below from one of the 2,700 pound arm-piercing projectiles which struck John Bark.
Mom got to go back. Hers won't work.
Wonder why. Come over and try mine over here. Number 5. Oh, look at this. This is rehead. Getting up in there. Garden of Patriots honors standing. I guess it's this way, huh? It's total ideas of the founding fathers and sons. School children in Massachusetts.
Where's it going? I'm not saying anything.
Oh, no wonder. Secret battery Jason. Focus. So, oh, there's planes coming in.
It's on the floor deck of Massachusetts. Right up by the bow. You can see there's a big bridge up there under construction. I don't know what the name of the bridge is. It's a big one. Just a thing all the way back to the radar tower. See all the guns. It's a pretty incredible sight. See, they aren't the only visitors here, right? More anti-aircraft guns out that way. Guys, if we're coming in 5 minutes, we need to take some pictures.
There's Navy Marines. Now the reason she's 108 feet wide is because the locks on the Panama Canal are 110 feet wide, giving her only a foot on either side to pass through. She was commissioned in 1942 and decommissioned in 1947, but she was then brought to Norfolk, Virginia and put into mothballs. This is a naval trumpeting protective coverings over all her main armaments. She remained in mothballs until 1965, when the Massachusetts Memorial Committee, which is a non-profit organization, raised enough money from this area to bring her here to Fall River. So she is the mother of our code. Now during the war, there were 2 catapults, one located on either side of this fantail, and these catapults held Kingfisher OS-2U spotting planes. The catapults would act like slingshots and launch the planes off the sides of the ship so they could go on scouting missions for those large 16-inch guns. When the planes wanted to land again, they'd land in the wake or the waves that the ship made. Then this crane you can see overhead would swing around and they'd hook the plane to the crane and take it back up on deck. Well, no, the first class, the Iowa class, 200 feet long.
We're getting back to plans for this later in the film they follow the
These guns to my left are 40mm anti-aircraft guns. They had a range of 2.5 miles and they could shoot 125 rounds per minute. Now these guns could be run 2 ways, either manually or electronically. They were usually run electronically by the use of an electronic director, which is behind these guns, and we'll see it as we pass. There'd be a man strapped into it, and from there he could control all the guns' movements and fire them. But in case that failed, they needed a backup system, and these guns could be run manually with a person sitting on either side. The person on the left was the pointer, and he would elevate the guns, and the person on the right was the trainer, and he would rotate them. The shield around them is a splinter shield, and this would help protect the men from flying shrapnel. And the rack along the inside was used to hold the ammunition that was brought up from this hatch that I'm standing on. Then the guns were always manually loaded. Are there any questions? Okay, follow me. Now standing up the ship's main armaments are 16-inch guns, and they're called 16-inch guns because the diameter of the barrel is 16 inches. These are only 3 of the 9 guns of this type of board. The other 6 are on the bow. Now these guns can shoot a projectile or bullet weighing 2,700 pounds about 25 miles. So if you can imagine squishing up a Volkswagen, sticking it in the barrel and shooting it from here to Providence, Rhode Island, that's how powerful they were. These guns can be raised and lowered individually and fired individually, but if all 3 were fired together, it was called a salvo, and the ship fired her first salvo in the North African campaign. The black objects at the base of the guns are called bloomers, and they help protect them from weather. Also in each of the barrels are large cork-like objects called tompkins, and they keep water out. What I'm leaning against is a turret, and there'd be 24 men and a gun captain inside here responsible for loading the guns. The black cylinder beneath the turret is the barbette, and this runs down to the hull of the ship where the magazine is, and from there powder and ammunition were sent up inside to the men by elevators. And this turret could rotate 180 degrees, and if all 9 guns guns are facing off one side of the ship, it was called a broadside. Are there any questions? Okay, follow me. On either side of me are examples of the projectiles that were fired from the 16-inch guns. This projectile to my right is a ship-to-ship projectile. It has a pointed tip for greater penetration into the side or the deck of an enemy ship. This projectile to my left is a ship-to-shore projectile and has a rounded tip. Now this very projectile was originally fired in the Battle of Casablanca, and it was supposed to land directly in downtown Casablanca, but it never quite made it. There was a French Vichy ship, or a French ship under German rule called the Jean Bart, that was docked across from us. When this was fired, it went off course and hit the side of the Jean Bart, penetrating 60 feet into an empty powder room and exploding, causing considerable damage. The shell was then retrieved and brought back here for observation. The bag to my far right is called a powder bag or charge, and 6 of those were placed behind a projectile to fire it, each weighing 90 pounds. Now those bags were originally wrapped in silk instead of canvas, so when the guns were fired, the silk would totally burn up and wouldn't leave any residue in the barrels. You're all standing on teakwood from the Philippines, and this cost the Navy $1.2 million to install, and it's used for 3 major reasons. First of all, the men's berthing compartments, or where they slept, are below, and the teakwood didn't gather the sunlight like the steel did, so it kept it much cooler for the men. Second of all, when loading or firing the guns, sometimes powder might drop out onto the deck, and it wouldn't be as likely to spark on the wood. And finally, if a projectile did land on the deck, the teakwood had more of a give to it than the steel, so it wouldn't cause as much damage. The large guns you see to my left up on the superstructure are ship's secondary weapons, the 5-inch guns. These had a range of 8 to 10 miles. Right below the guns, you'll see the ship's bell, and this was rung every half an hour during a watch to let the men know what time it was. Now this ship has 2 battle scars, the first of which are the red colored markings right below the bell, and what happened there was a projectile landed on the upper deck and exploded, and those are the shrapnel markings. Here on the starboard side, I'm going to take you to the port side so you can see the second battle scar. Are there any questions?
I presume these protuberances on the side of this turret are for aiming the guns?
Yeah, for their telescopes, and they'd be used if the radar wasn't working properly. Then the men inside could look out and aim. Are there any other questions? Okay, follow me. Okay, the cemented area that I'm standing on now is the ship's second battle scar, and this was formed when an 8-inch projectile was fired from the shore, and it came and hit the deck and went through to the marine sleeping compartments below and exploded. Luckily, none of the men were injured because they were all manning their battle stations at the time. And the ship was in 35 major battles, but not one man was killed or seriously injured in any of them, so you can see why they nicknamed this ship the Lucky Lady. The bridge up to my right is the Braga Bridge, named for Charles F. Braga Jr., and he was the first sailor from Fall River to be killed in World War II. And from the keel of the ship to the very top of the superstructure is the height of a 15-story office building, and as you can see, the superstructure itself is a bit taller than the bridge. Does anybody know how we get the ship under the bridge? Oh, come on. Nobody knows? Okay, they had to cut off approximately 80 feet of the superstructure. They brought the ship under, and when it was safely on this side, they just welded it back on. If you look about halfway down the superstructure, you'll see that semicircular area with those little slits for windows. This is the pilot's den or helm where the ship was steered from. Now this is armored with 18-inch thick steel, one of the thickest places on the ship, to help protect against kamikaze pilots and other shelling. In case that steering was knocked out, there's a backup steering system 3 decks below the one we're standing on. And room, and they fly his flag off the yardarm. Are there any questions? It's a French ship, but it was taken over by the Germans. Oh, I don't know much about the Chobot. Are there any questions? Okay, follow me, please. Oh, and the flag you can see flying is called the Jack flag, and this was raised as a naval tradition whenever the ship was in port. The guns on either side of the flag are 20mm anti-aircraft machine guns, and originally about 20 sets of these lined either side of the deck. When this ship was decommissioned and scheduled to be scrapped, most of those guns were taken off and scrapped themselves. Now, I'm sure you've all noticed one of the ship's two anchors behind me. Each anchor weighed 13 tons. They had 900 feet of chain apiece, and each link or shackle of the chain weighed about 90 pounds. But during the war, that chain was color-coded, so when the anchors were dropped, they knew what depth they were at. This large gray apron behind me is called the manger, and it would help keep water and wind off the men who were on the deck. Also, because it's very heavy, it would help to balance the ship during violent storms. And the large white objects on either side of the manger are called paravanes, and these originally had large scissor-like objects attached to them. Now, these paravanes weren't carried by battleships, but instead they were carried by destroyers that traveled with them in the fleet. Now, these paravanes would be thrown off the sides of the destroyers and towed along, and their missions were to clip the cables of contact mines, allowing the mines to rise to the surface. Then the men on the destroyers would shoot and explode them before they had a chance to hit a battleship. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, follow me. Approximately 98,000 people. In the earlier days, Fall River was the Quikashan River, which runs through its center, and Quikashan in Indian language means falling river. This red brick building behind me is the visitor center and part of Heritage State Park, and the building itself is a small replica of what some of the mills look like. Inside you can obtain tourist information on this area and also see a short film called The Fabric of Fall River. The gray building to my right is the boathouse and also part of Heritage State Park, and you can take sailing lessons there and even take out a sailboat for the afternoon. Now, if you look up behind you on the turret, you can see George the Gremlin. And as I said before, each turret had a gun captain, and this gun captain's name was George. And his men teased him unmercifully, saying how much he looked like a gremlin. So one day after the ship had been decommissioned, his mate came back on board and painted this picture of him up there. And we do have a former crew member on board, said unfortunately George did have ears that big, the poor guy. If you look up on the yardarm, you'll see 4 flags flying there. These are called signal flags, and they were the code of the ship. And each flag represented a letter. So it was N-E-P-L. Or in the naval alphabet, it was November, Echo, Papa, Lima. And they'd use this code over the radio waves to hide the identity of the ship from the enemies. Are there any questions? Okay, I'm going to take you into the wardroom for the conclusion of my tour, so follow me, please. Okay, we're now standing in the wardroom where the 113 officers originally ate. The 2,000 enlisted men would eat 1 deck below in the galley. So this is basically the end of my tour, but I'd like to give you 2 guidelines for the rest of your visit. If you go back through the trolley and down the hatch, you can go as far as 4 decks below to the engine room, where you can view one of the ship's 4 original engines. In their day, when all 4 engines were running together, they could produce enough electricity to light up the whole city of Fall River. If you go to that second doorway and down the hatch, you can go as far as 5 decks below to the magazine and barbette, and you can see where they store the ammunition, and then how they send it up to the turret. If you go to the second doorway to my left that's open, and take your first left, you'll come to the ship's museum, you'll find some of its memorabilia, and also that section of the deck that the projectile went through. If you go to that same doorway and just go straight, you come to the World War II Memorial. You'll find the names of 13,000 men and women from Massachusetts who died in that war. If you'd like to look up someone's name, you look up the branch of service, the county from Massachusetts, and then it goes alphabetically. And finally, you can go as far as 4 decks above to the bridge by use of ladders from the outside. Okay, I'd like to thank everyone for coming on my tour, and if you have any questions throughout your visit, feel free to ask.
decks below ship.
Okay. We have some PT mobile. Focus on that.
Want to see big, 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 big goat. Bigger than just one thing like that. Take it off.
Very front. Back here, this.
Let's go back and love again.
See, this stuff is about PT boat that President Kennedy was on.
Big, big, big goat. PT boat used in motion picture department.
Downstairs to the aircraft exhibit.
I'm listening to
Story of George Memorial to George Bennett. He was born, he served the country, and then eventual fate. Harrison, measured hydroxide tanks, shells used by the era to reaper pickles. What a display down here. Maybe shoot it off. Japanese suicide demolition. We are at Plymouth Rock. Or 1620, and a 6 looks more like an 8.
My name's John, and this is Plymouth Rock. I'd like you coming to look at the rock, and you're expecting something a bit larger. All that's here before you is only about a third of its original size. About 6,000 pounds of this rock was stolen by souvenir seekers over the centuries. It's a very common practice in the 1800s for people to come down here, chip off their own little piece, and take them home with them. Originally, the rock was about 15 feet across, 6 feet tall, and have filled this entire pit. Now, contrary to popular belief, though, the Pilgrims did not set foot here first. They landed in Provincetown, which is at the end of the Cape Cod Peninsula, about 18 miles directly across Cape Cod Bay. Now, the Pilgrims landed in Provincetown, but they didn't like the area because it had very sandy soil and there was not enough fresh water. So they took their smaller boat, the Shell, an exploring craft inside the Mayflower. With about 18 men, they sailed the coastline of Cape Cod looking for an area to eventually build their settlement. They came to this harbor and stepped on this particular rock on December 21st, 1620. Now, geographically, the shorefront here looked much different in 1620 than what it looks like today. These two outlets that make up the park to my left and right are all landfill. All these other rocks you see along here were brought here in 1920. The hill behind us, called Coles Hill, originally sloped to the base of the rock, and the shoreline went straight through this rock about 300 yards down this way. So they came up with the shelf, stepped off the shelf onto the rock and onto land. Now, a major reason why they like the rock is because the water here in December is so very cold. Instead of jumping into chest-deep water, they instead can step dryly from the boat right onto the rock and then onto land. And for the first 4 to 6 months, they used this rock as a dock, as they ferried supplies from the ship up onto the rock and onto land. They used it as a wharf up until spring when they could build their own dock made of wood. Now, this rock below you was not a major landmark for Pilgrims. It wasn't like they came and they stamped the 1620 on it and thought they were going to be famous. It was a useful tool that they used until they had built their own dock made of wood. Now, once that dock was built, the rock below you was basically forgotten. Now, it didn't jump back into the historical spotlight until about 1741. For in that year, a native Plymouthian named Thomas Fons would save this rock. Now, he knew this is Plymouth Rock due to the fact that he was born here in Plymouth in 1647. The last remaining pilgrim alive to come across the Mayflower was John Howell. He died when Fons was 26 years old. So for the earlier part of his life, he had talked to a lot of the passengers of the Mayflower, and he'd heard this story of how this was the actual rock they had stepped upon. As I was saying, he saved this rock when he was 95 years old in 1741, but there were plans to build a wharf above this rock to bury it forever. When Fons heard about this, he was wrecked. Lived about 3 miles south from here. He was unable to walk the full 3 miles, so he had his servants carry him in a sedan chute. He came down here and he cried out that the rock should be saved because it was such a strong symbol en route to the area. And due to his efforts and his fine expertise in cane swinging, they didn't build a wharf, they gave it a special area above the dock. Now, as time went on, since 1741, it's been quite popular for people to come here to gaze upon the rock as you all do today. In 1620, it was originally painted on with black paint during the Revolutionary War, but due to the fact that it kept wearing off, the funded game wise, out of line, and engraved it on it. The local granite cutter Clark Ellis did that in 1880. The large crack you see on the rock occurred in 1834. During the 4th of July parade that year, the rock was on the floor. While halfway through the parade down Main Street, the rock fell off the cart and cracked in half. They took the driver of the car, he was executed, and his remains are now found inside this rock. Just joking. The canopy above us was built in 1920 for the 300th anniversary of the Pilgrims landing here in Plymouth, and this gigantic, sprawling 9-acre park all around you was all opened up in 1921. Now, if you have any further questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. I thank you for your kind interest and attention, and I hope you have a great day here in Plymouth. Thank you.
They speak with an English dialect of that time, and they'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Just remember, they don't step out of the role they're playing, and they've come forward in time to share the voyage over and the first winter of 1620. And they don't talk about anything beyond that time. Now, the Mayflower II is a full-scale replica. She was built in Brixham, England, and they sailed her over in the spring of 1967. And June 13th marked the 30th anniversary of her arrival here. Okay, enjoy.
Yeah. On the outside, if you put it right inside. So this is how they built things like that. There's another end that way. Timber and canvas are very now got too short to be most building, and it's a winter. But they have there were a family of two without cabin at all. They in the bed and water till the guests. Whatever the man of the family does see fit to bring aboard to touch is to help his family abroad. So be if they've got a ship like the
Let's see what the rest of the house is like.
There's some merchant ship and become father of them.
No, he's applied to the King's Church now. Stanbridge, the manfolk, have set up a militia here. He's got a fiery temper, I must warn you. When he gives the order, you must obey the order immediately. Look at that smile! Isn't that a nice smile? Yeah. Look at that. Oh, I think the babe fancies me. What do you think, lad? Look at that smile. Is he always as happy, is he? Yeah, that's a nice way to be. Good day, sir. You have a nice smile too. Are you always this pleasant?
Yes.
That's a good way to be. Sometimes they're not like that no more, sir.
Oh, I think this where
Do you want a teacher over there?
It's over there.
It's spicy. It's hard.
Exercise. You might be able to get maybe 3. You might be. I'll be next to one for campus. You can put 4 of us. They're all very tall. We're tall and lean.
Oops, sorry. Somebody
That's where the sailors lived. Hey, you might want to look in there and see what
paid.
they have a stove in there where they cook. You can
Yeah.
smell it.
Fire's going. There's fishing around. There's nets. I think it comes in there. Whoops. Whoops.
Oh,
over they hoisted stuff from downstairs, upstairs. Their supplies, they would put them in the one downstairs, she said, and then they would have a rope here and bring it up. Like a pulley. Don't climb that.
Stand there for 4 hours. Up through the hatch to the tops.
Where are we here?
You are in steerage. That's the officers of the crew. And
There were 3 or 4?
there were some 8.
God. Why did they need so many?
Oh, well, they serve watches of 4 hours each. So there's only 4 upon a watch at the same time. I truly don't know. I don't know much more than to say. But there's the master of the ship didn't live there. We gave it up to the leaders of our colony. I lived down with them. I want to go water. What's his name? Jackie, what's your name?
License plate.
Right. It's called drafts. Drafts. So I checked it today, you know? Molly, what's that? Looks like a door painted up. Is it made out of clay? Oh, how odd. Colours are fine, though. Good day to you. It's called Travis Board. It helps keep a record of what the master called down from above. He calls down an order, he calls it down. When we get upstairs.
Sure, that's the captain's quarters.
It seems as though she wants to go to England with you guys.
That'd be alright.
So I can take my daughter with me.
Well, you can take you and I'll take your daughter.
Okay.
I'll bail you. It's a shallow boat. It's a work boat. They can't even brought that with them. They have no boat of their own here, so they had to bring that with them.
That was his mantle.
They would never have made him.
Never would have.
Hold still, Claire.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
He's taking a picture.
Ship, you've already been down through that. Down below there, there's a staff in the midst of.
I saw that.
There, you just move it from side to side. See what? Use your eyes. You have eyes.
Yeah, but
Do you mean? Oh, you have a compass down there.
I go by the compass.
Oh, you're in the midst of the Atlantic. What's there to look at?
It's not like today with all the other.
Nothing out there.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's shooting. How come it's still red light is on and I'm not holding the button?
That's all right. You don't need to hold the button. You just push the button and it goes.
Port Beach in Hyannis, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. And this is Doug and Kevin at Veterans Beach, fooling around. It's a pretty good beach to chill at. It's quite sandy here. The sand is pretty good. There's a lot of little shells. Water is nice and clear. Very little algae here. In the back, you can see lots of boats. And I'll pan over here. This is Hyannis Harbor. Past the harbor is the Atlantic. And right there is the Hyannis Yacht Club. They didn't invite us to come in, but that's okay. Too good for down that way, a couple miles, is the Kennedy family compound. I don't think we'll go visit them today because we don't have time to do everything. Coming back, out there's the Atlantic. Big fish. Little fish. Little fish is really cute. Now, while they fool around, we'll scan a little bit over here. You see more of the harbor. More kids fool around. In the back harbor, there's a lot of beautiful homes that are very typical of New England homes. The gray colored side. There's a ferry boat. Out. More homes out. Around the harbor, out towards the ocean. Not too bad. Or, as we refer to him in the hotel, the bed hog. Say hi, bed hog. Don't throw things. The John F. Kennedy Memorial here at the beach, Hyannis at the Veterans Memorial Beach. This is our little show off here in front of the memorial. It's just a very simple plaque with his picture on it. There's a small fountain here. harbor. This goofy kid. And past the fountain, there's the harbor and the beach again. Very beautiful day. It's very clear. The sun is out. There's another path. Still here in Hyannisport at the Veterans Beach and Veterans State Park. We also have a small playground here.
Okay, you're on. First day I haven't used up the battery altogether. In a while. First 2 days I did. Whoops. Where does it? Okay.
40 years later. Huh? Is this the one that we see? No. The houses and stuff are still here. Oh, there it is. Big like you little troublemaker. I'm gonna fall where you can't get out. Much better you sleeping in tonight. Oh, you little please. I will accept you.
Excuse me. Mom's in bed. I get a picture.
Please. Woo! Are you different, yeah? Slow motion.
Well, that's later when we show it back. It'll be in slow motion.
Ow! Fastball! Sorry.
Take a picture of the room here. That's pretty good.
Play.
This is Kevin, properly cooked little boy, after we got home from our vacation. Yay! With his elf rocks. Are you glad we're home?
Is a lie. Cocaine, a big lie. Call 1-800-662-HELP.
So much to do and there's never time for making two and for machine terrorists don't care.
Oh, back to normal.
Sexual contact or sharing a deal with an infected person.
Yeah.
Remember, AIDS does not discriminate.
Let's see what we got. An appropriate picture after going to JFK Memorial Park. What was that date today? Yeah, today's the 14th already. It's the 14th of August already, isn't it, Mom?
Yeah.
Realize that. Yeah. See how much tape we got. Maybe we should leave just a little space at the end of the tape. Take a little shot outside. Boy, car sure is dirty after a trip like that. Lawn needs mowing. Oh, let's see. Oh God. I haven't looked at the garden yet. I'm gonna take a look. Come along with me, huh? Won't you, my neighbor? Won't you be, please won't you be my neighbor? Oh yeah, we got lots of tomatoes now. Well, that's good, the weeds didn't do too badly this week. Let's see, I bet you we got cukes back there too. Oh yeah, I see cuke right there. That's a, it's the air conditioner that's leaned this year back there. It must not have rained while I was gone because my tarp didn't get cleaned. Thought for sure it would rain while we were gone. It's been a dry week. See where I had a tent set up last week. Both tents. Kevin's little one was set up over there too. It's right there still in the garage. I have to get them out in a little while. Oh well. Look around the house. My goodness. Yeah, that's all that hedge trimming I did. When I had it stacked up and it all turned brown. I didn't like that. It's probably lawn needs more. What else we got here? Trash cans around here. Sun really big sun's out, huh? Peek in the garage. Oh my God, look at that mess in the garage. Yeah, we'll clean it up. Take a picture of this tree because I think pretty soon it's going to crack and we're going to wind up with a smaller piece yet than we already got. So it's cracking now. Kind of messy still. Nobody disturbed the place. That's good. Good neighborhood.